Austrian border and about 30 kilometers north of Cortina, which is going to be the focus of the whole planet in a month as the Olympics kick off there. Ian Woods and Mike Dixon with you for the sprints today. Mike, you know this venue really well, and yeah, the conditions are looking superb, I think.
Yeah, it's always so reliable here, Ian, isn't it? The weather, the athletes love coming here, and yes, it is Christmas time. It's obviously the Christmas break curtailed a little, but all the big names have landed.
You know, I heard Glabo say he'd have been happy to race over Christmas. A lot of the athletes, you know, it depends, I think, on family situation, really, doesn't it? If you're a single guy or a single girl with no real family commitments, as to be fair, many of these athletes don't. They would quite happily just crack on and race through Christmas. But that wouldn't work for everyone. It certainly wouldn't work for all of the massive teams that have to put on this huge show around the world. Just talk us through the conditions and the course, Mike.
Yes, quite typically at low humidity at 71%, and the course profile, Ian, it's as every sprint race has its own personality and shape, but this is a unique short, I say short, very quick 1,400 meters up over the clubhouse there, as you could see a couple of times around the stadium.
Yeah, I love this course. A little like Davos, in as much as you go around it twice and you can see the whole thing from wherever you are in the stadium, particularly on top of the clubhouse, as we see in the background there. Here's the start list, Mike. 90 starters. There is, I think, one or two little rumours of one or two pulling out, but no big names, fortunately.
Yes, and most of the big names, most of the big players are in there, and I think we might see, Ian, some surprises. Some of those, Helen Hoffman possibly as one. She hasn't quite found her way as a senior, but a great junior, bib 48. So I think we might see some surprises from further back.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Mike. I'm rooting for Hoffman. She is one of those younger athletes who's made the jump, I think, from junior world championships, elite level, really, winning last year in I'll come back to that in a minute. It was in northern Italy. It wasn't far from here, actually. And she's made the jump, hasn't she? Whereas one or two haven't quite got there yet. She's tough, so watch out for her. What number is she? She's 48, so middle of the field today.
And it's great to see the two British athletes in position, bib start number 65, Anna Price, and of course Tabitha Williams, 85.
Yeah, Tabby and Anna having a good start to their World Cup careers, really, and pre-Christmas. Some good results, actually, and made up a team for the team sprint in Davos and seem to enjoy doing that. Big opportunity to learn, really.
It looks like Jessie Diggins, unique. Everyone's got their own unique style, and I wonder what's going through her mind. And she'll want to. Obviously, the retirement is happening at the end of the season. So I think she'll want to go out with another Tour de Ski victory.
She will, and this time last year she won this race, of course, last year, and I predicted the end of that day. It was a surprise for me, to be fair, that she won. But I predicted that was a sign that she may take another Tour de Ski win. But we will have to wait and see. So 90 starters ready to go. Well, it's round 4 of the FIS Cross Country World Cup Tour, day 1 of the Tour de Ski, where things get very tough for about 8 days. Well, it is 8 days, 6 races over the next 8 days. Mike, you've commentated on these races for years now. Hard to believe, actually, that we're into year 20, because I feel like the Tour de Ski is still quite new.
Yeah, it feels that way, Ian, doesn't it? And I do like the way it's evolved from those, from 20 years ago, where there was a lot more travelling for the athletes. And I think that the athletes much happier now that it's mostly here in Toblach Dobiaco and then over to Val di Fiemme for the final 2 days.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm sure the athletes have and the coaching staff have pressed hard to try to reduce the stress of this World Cup. So Sonnesson gets away. Next to go is Leah Fisher. Interesting to see what she can do. She's sort of been in the teens, 12th, 13th, 14th over the years. Making the semis is probably a target for her today.
Estonian is improving, isn't she? The 27-year-old Poulet's personal best 16th. That was at home, unsurprisingly, when the World Cup went up to Tallinn. And obviously it is an advantage generally when you're racing at home.
Yeah, she took advantage of that being at home last year, didn't she? Now, Maya Dahlqvist, she had a nightmare in the final last year, was going very well through the day, qualified third quickest in Davos 2 weeks ago, so that was looking good, and ended up fourth. So Dahlqvist, certainly someone to watch out for today. Maybe we're going to stay with her and get a good look at this course. Mike, it's a tough start, actually. It looks flat, doesn't it? But you start climbing straight away.
You do, and you know, placement. It's okay when you're racing here in a time trial, Ian. You've got your own view, your own vision, no traffic jams. But later, when you're lined up against 5 other athletes, that left-hander over this rise, getting your placement down this drop-off as well, absolutely vital. Not always the best to be leading down the descent we see in our left here. Very much a drafting and a tucking in behind the lead athlete course if you can.
Well, Dahlqvist right at this point here last year, the last time, well, actually it was the first time over this hill, she broke a stick and there was no one around to give her a replacement, and by the time they went over the clubhouse, well, the race was really over for her, so that was devastating for her and for Sweden. I wondered if we'd lost her there, but I think the cameras just failed to pass on. We're with Jørn Suit, who is racing obviously for Finland. Now then, Mike Skistad of Norway, disqualified in Davos because she nudged Fandrik off the track. I missed it in the race, but watched it later. And she didn't qualify or didn't get through the quarterfinals in Trondheim. Now, she's someone who can win. She won the first World Cup of the year, the sprint in Ruka. It was classic. But I just feel like she needs to get a grip of her game, really.
It's interesting, you know, you need to know where you're going, when you're going, the race line, and as Moa Ilarte starts her race. Yes, in Trondheim, you know, a home venue for Skistad, and she did complain later to the organisers. They put a bollard. She went left of the tracks, outside of the cut tracks in the final 100, and there was a bollard blocking away. She certainly lost her position because of that. But yeah, it's about reading where you're going. Let's hope she finds the right path today and the best line.
Yeah, let's hope so. So Leah Fisher comes through nearly 4 seconds up on Sonneson of the USA. Next will be Pulis of Estonia, and then Dahlqvist coming around the corner. So Dahlqvist is looking good. Pulis goes first, 40.44 up on Leah Fisher, and here's Dahlqvist. What can she do? Look at that, fantastic.
Well, she had a very powerful second lap, Dahlqvist, so she was obviously I think, holding back a little, and I think that's an excellent strategy on this track.
My word, look at this, Mike. Schertz of Austria has blown away Dahlqvist 2 seconds. She did go through the halfway stage ahead of her, a second and a half up, and has actually increased that on the second loop.
Well, I think that this will stand as Schertz from Austria, her best. She did do well in Davos. I think that was her personal best at 18th.
Mike, I feel we need the Austrians to, they're always there or thereabouts. Sad to see that Vermeulen isn't racing the Tour de Ski this year, having come, I think, second last year, but he's not well. And just the Austrians generally, you know, alpine skiing takes precedent in Austria, so cross-country is really the poor cousin. And I think that's having an effect on youngsters coming through. We really need to see you know, Schertz getting first across the line so far is exactly the kind of thing we need on the TVs in Austria, isn't it?
It is, and you know, you need a big name to bring the youngsters, as you said, in. But they do have the education plus the sport, you know, in cross country and biathlon from age 13, 14. They have been linked to the game.
Komakoski struggling a little. And now Skistad goes green, 1.13 up on Schertz. She's often sort of middle of the field, isn't she? Sort of anywhere between 10 and 25. Doesn't seem to feel she needs to work too hard. but maybe she's listened to what I was saying earlier and just needs to sort her act out and sort of make a little bit more sure of herself.
I think so. You're so true with Shestad. She normally goes a little economical, safely makes it into the top 30. That's what you're after today, to progress into the heats and then semi-final and, of course, the final. The Swedish team, I thought, as Ilara's best at the moment in 4th place.
Oh, Ilar second overall in the World Cup standings. He's had 2 second places. Distance races, but would expect her to feature in the finals later on. Top 30 go through. Mike, some of the athletes here definitely trying to qualify. I'll come back to that. This is Del Rio of Andorra. She's another star, I think, with Hoffman, who's come up from the under-23 category last year and managed to break into the upper echelons. Not shining as such yet, nothing like, well, the likes of Hagstrom and the other Swedish sprinters, but nevertheless, it seems to be making a way into the front page of the result list regularly now.
Yes, and that is unusual for an Andorran. We have seen it in the past, some big names from Andorra. They've definitely got the facilities there. Well, I said the Swedes weren't going well, but Hagstrom's time there is excellent at 3.18 ahead of Shestad.
Yeah, Arbrecht now of Norway, 5th in Trondheim, first World Cup. That was classic sprints. 4:12 down on Hagstrom. Janatova will be next for Czechia. It isn't great, but she's a consistent athlete. She's one of those athletes, I think, Mike, last year that got a good overall World Cup result at the end of the season, because she did pretty much every single race.
And yes, her distance racing much improved last year, and it seems to be better this year. So yes, points are important. Casol, I did expect Ian, the Italian. I expected men and women to be much improved in terms of the sprinting game, but on paper so far, maybe they've got a cunning plan to come to their best. Of course, that's what they want in 4 weeks' time, but we haven't seen much magic yet.
No, I'm with you there. I agree with you, though. I think the load that they will apply to their athletes right now will be intense. Timing with the Olympics coming up, really important. Jönsson comes through 2:25. Not unusual for Jönsson to have one of the quickest ski times. Do you know what, Mike? She's so good, an overall World Cup sprinter last year, but she's never won a World Cup apart from a team sprint. I find that amazing, yeah.
Yeah, total reliability, but yes, the podiums, she's there or thereabouts in the final, and maybe we'll see that first place on the podium today. Wouldn't that be lovely?
Now, what can Jess Diggins do, Mike? This is good, yeah, satisfactory. She's ahead of Shestad.
I think Jessie Diggins will be delighted with that. Yes, she would like the bonus that can come with it. Obviously, the fastest gets that extra, well, 60 seconds reduced, but she'll be delighted with 3rd place.
Now, Kahara crosses the line. I'm looking for Mervold. Here she comes now. She was just dynamic in Davos, and this is going to be good enough for sure. Top 4. She is not built like the other sprinters, and in a way, I think similar to Klæbo, really. He doesn't so much look like a sprinter, the likes of Shanavar, but obviously is. Rosenberg is another junior who's struggling, I think. Well, junior last year, stunning world champion, junior world champion, I should say, but I think she struggles, Mike, from the fact that there are so many good Swedes ahead of her, that she struggles to make the team.
Certainly, and I think that at 9.92 seconds behind Ian already, and Hagstrom's time looks pretty much dominant, and maybe remains that dominant best time. But I think anyone below 9 seconds is really at risk of not making the top 30.
I agree. Clara Ritzek of Germany should be the next to cross the line. Here she comes. This is pretty good. She hasn't had so much good result this year after that win at the end of the World Cup last year in Lahti. A lovely surprise win for the German team there. Ritzek, the last of the seeded athletes. That said, here comes Astrid Øyer Slind, who was 2nd overall in the Tour de Ski last year. Mike, she must get within, what is it, 20% of the winner's time to just start tomorrow. So the whole Tour de Ski competition places a lot of pressure on the distance athletes by starting with a sprint race.
It certainly does. And, you know, there's an advantage as well as Kaelin comes in, Feb 32, sorry, position 32. 23, I should say, correct myself there. Yes, there's pressure. You could argue the distance racers who don't make it through to the busy rest of the day, it's an advantage. You're storing energy for tomorrow's classic race over 10 kilometers.
De Martin Pinter, to be fair, I think it's Frederica Cassol, who's considered the best of the Italian sprinters right now. Is she still in there? She is. She's in 12th place, so she looks pretty solid at the moment. Parmakoski hanging on to 30th place, and Marta Rosenberg of Sweden in 29th. So they're the names to watch. Niskanen there as well in 28th. May not qualify, but probably will be within 20% of the winner's time. So we'll get to race tomorrow.
Well, Hennig Jotzler, that's at the moment 10:30. So yes, we're seeing 10:30 is not going to make it into the finals later.
Ufan Nesbitt comfortably in for Canada. And here is Poland's Skinder. Is this going to be good enough? Probably not by the end of the day, no. 29, so pushes Rosenberg out. Now Niskanen is crossing her fingers, assuming she wants to race the rest of the day.
Perry from France is going to be on the edge to make it into, in fact, nope, she's outside already.
Set the early quick time for the last race in Davos, the 10K freestyle that everyone was chasing. Doesn't look all that pleased with that result.
It's tough, isn't it? You've got your 2 minutes 47, just under 3 minutes for some charge around this 1.4 kilometer track.
Here's Neprieva, the younger sister of the Neprieva we know of, who's racing as an independent. Makes it into 28th at the moment.
I'm not sure that last Ian. There are some big names to come up, and well, Laurent is one of them. She's going to put Neprieva down one position.
Yeah, indeed. So who we got to come? Fosnes coming up. Helen Hoffman, you mentioned earlier. Frida Karlsson, who expects to do well overall, but we'll see how she gets on with this sprint race. Heidi Weng coming up later.
I'm just thinking Hagström, her interview when she won in Trondheim, she did not expect to win that race, the early season race there in Trondheim. It was classic, but it was all about strategy. She broke free at the right time, got away from the pack, and clearly she's carrying some magic into the first day of the Tour de Ski.
Yeah.
Fosnes, I thought she would provide Ian. I thought she'd be around 5 seconds behind. I would say she's disappointed. May not make it into the top 30 at the end of the day.
Maybe not. Here's the second of the Kisiku sisters coming in for Estonia, and amazing how their times are always so close. It's slightly bonkers.
Fascinating twins. Yep. And Delic, 44th, end of her day starts now.
Here's Hoffman, I think, 48 it is. Well, that's not going to be good enough. A little surprised. I thought she'd get through, but yeah, everyone is here. Big field. So much prestige in this Tour de Ski event, and that's a good result for Aduka. She's coming back.
Yeah, she's had setbacks, hasn't she? That will really spark up her Tour de Ski. We know she's a great distance racer as well. That's a great start.
Frida Karlsson now. It's a long way to the finish line. It's not going to be good enough. 10. It's well, what is the What's 30th place at the moment? 8:39. 8:39.
I thought Carlson, she was after those precious bonus seconds, if you like, by making the top 30, and then, of course, an opportunity to move up the field in the rest of the day, but she goes home now. Or back to her hotel, I should say.
53 is Driveners of Norway. I think she's racing. We should see her come in. Now, she had a great start to the season pre-World Cup, earning a place, and there she is. 4:76, that's not bad. She's picked up her form. She had a great sort of early season. Then the first World Cups were okay, and this looks a little better, I feel.
It does. Mackie is on the edge. In fact, she's over the edge now. I thought she may make it. Her earlier first lap time was good.
Lucinda Anderson of the USA. Sort of 40 meters to go once they enter that marked off area, and I don't think it's going to be good enough. It isn't. Furstenberg. Now you get a sense of whether they'll cross the line based on where they are when the athlete before crosses the line. I don't think this is going to be good enough either.
Oh, just outside.
Now then, where's Heidi Weng?
Yes, I expect she should be. Is that her coming in now? It is.
It is. Mike, she's not going to qualify.
Oh, too much.
No, it's not going to do it. Oh, my word. That's a shame, but hey, within 20% of the leader's time means she'll get to continue, and maybe there will be some athletes, Mike, who are simply here to show that they're on form for the Olympics in distance races, but to do that tomorrow and through the week, they've got to be good enough in the sprints to keep going. That's how it works, isn't it?
That's how it works. You've got a 20% behind the winner's time cut off. There's a jury can sit on that if there's exceptional circumstances, but yes, you need to be 20% off the lead time.
Yeah, okay, so exceptional circumstances being what? The conditions are so slow, it's slushy and wet, that sort of thing, or break a ski pole, or what?
Yes, that's the ski pole scenario or equipment scenario that can be taken into account. But generally, the jury and the athletes themselves know that if you are starting each day 20% behind, if you're 18%, 19%, it makes the rest of your days tough to keep on hanging in there.
But Anderson, 6th overall last year, goes no further today, so can start thinking about tomorrow's race. Eriksson of Sweden coming through. So let's see, sitting on 30th place right now, Del Rio of Andorra. She really will want to qualify and go through and race later on. But who else have we got out there? We've got Nora Sanners, we've got Stadlober of Austria in 66. But yeah, I think might just stay there. What do you think?
Yeah, and maybe further back we've got Nora Sanners, 71, or teammate Eva Ingebrigtsen, she's 73. Price had a decent first lap time, Patrick. Ian, 3 seconds behind, but a slower second lap.
Here's Stadlober now. Is this going to be good enough? No, just about a second outside.
Never renowned as a sprinter, Stadlober, but certainly when it comes to the distance, she's up there with the best.
Okay, so I'm looking on my split screen now, trying to work out who else is out there that might just make it in.
68 won't. It's 11.25, 52nd position.
So everyone unlikely. They've got to do something pretty extraordinary to get into the top 30. Of those remaining, 69 crosses the line. And just a reminder, we have 89. One certainly has dropped out, I think. I could be wrong about that. My mind sometimes plays tricks on me, but 89, 90 athletes. Still 20 to go, but is there anyone back here that might just deny Del Rio and Fosnes of Norway the opportunity to continue?
Yeah, I'm just thinking Simpson Larson, the second last athlete to start. I know she's not the most renowned sprinter, but I think she probably will make the top 30.
Well, Nora Sanas was way outside there. Just looking back at last year's results in the final, Mike, you had Jess Diggins, who was third quickest qualifier. Jönsu was fifth. Fandrich. Now, she has, she's in 8th place at the moment. I missed her. But then, actually, the other three that made the final, Fosnes, Wiebe and Dahlqvist, were in 22nd, 20th and 26th place. So, not the quickest qualifiers, but did enough to get through and make it through the rounds into the final.
And I think that is the unique aspect of the tightness of this track. It's a very compact track. You've got the two climbs, not huge climbs, but a total climb of 49 meters. It really is about your strategy when you're in that pack of 6 athletes, where you place yourself and conserving energy through to the final, if you can.
Yeah, well, a big smile on Margot Turloy's face, because she has pushed Del Rio into 31st and bagged that last slot. Question is there anyone else out there? So Turloy goes through for France. The Cordoue outside goes into 71st. Vero of Switzerland should be next, but based on where she was in that shot, she's off the pace.
21:30 behind from Vero. Shakina, independent athlete, not good enough. First lap was quite good. I thought she might make a top 35, but 71st position.
Nissinen, it's just not going to be quick enough. It's going to be about 10 meters short, I think.
So important to get a good warm-up, isn't it? On this, you've got to attack from the get-go to try and make those, 8.78 seconds now.
What a lovely stadium we've got here. The conditions absolutely perfect. They're set to get a little cold as the week progresses. Could be -15, -17 by the middle of the week. So anyone who's racing today without gloves on will probably reconsider by the time we get to the start of the week. Kobayashi coming around the corner for Japan. Here she comes. It's not going to be good enough. And Tabby Williams is in 85, who should appear any minute. Tabby, she wouldn't claim to be an out-and-out sprinter, more of a distance racer. Here she comes. But this won't allow her to progress today.
Yes, at half distance, wasn't great at 11 seconds, but yes, she is more a distance athlete.
Well, she'll be looking at the percentage to see whether she can progress through the rest of the week. I think she's been to Norway since Davos. That's tough. Up to Norway, I think, and then back down to Central Europe, to Italy for these races. A lot of travelling.
Franchi and the Italians, Ian, would love to get more. I think at the moment there's only 2 in the top, just outside. Laurent is just outside, so I think only 2 Italians actually in the top 30 at the moment.
Next to finish is Simpson Larson of Norway, who won the last race, the last World Cup race in Davos just over a week ago. But doesn't go through today. Vilma Ritti of Finland, good but not good enough, and then we will have one more athlete. It was 90, I was wrong, crossing the line, and we've got our top 30. Turloy hangs on to that 30th place, Mike. Fosnes breathing a sigh of relief. And Turlai will get a capital Q next to her name right now. There it is. As the last competitor attempts to qualify in the top 30. So we have our best 30 in the world, at least today. No Jonas Sundling today, Mike, so that's a shame. She's always entertaining to watch, but not competing in the Tour de Ski. There you have it, the top 10. Sweden on top. Ritzek, good result from her. Is today the day where she indicates that she's back on the kind of form we saw from her at the end of the World Cup last year.
Iduka, we mentioned her as she crossed the line. She's delighted, I'm quite sure, in 12th place.
Slind comes through in 27th. She'll be pleased to qualify and go further, which means she has a chance of bagging some bonus seconds, which may be useful. Well, that's it. All of the 90 female competitors have given it their best shot to qualify and get into the top 30. Here are your top 3. Yasmi Yönsu, last year's overall sprint World Cup winner. Second or third quickest today. Coletta Ridzek, this is better from her. She's not quite been there in the first 3 rounds of the World Cup this year so far. And then quickest of the day, Johanna Hagström. Sweden back in number 1 slot. Diggins in 4th and Matilda Mervold in 5th with Skistad in 6th. So some big names in the top 6 there. Skistad, that's encouraging to be in the top 6. Julie Driveners of Norway is in position number 11, which I think means she gets first choice of quarterfinal heats, which will be coming up in just a few minutes' time.
Yes, it's interesting how that's played out. I was wondering, Ian, if the Swedish skis initially were not running as well as they could do when you have some big names. Dahlqvist down in 17th, she was an early starter, and Emma Ribom, another early starter, down in 26th position. And then all of a sudden, Johanna Hagström set this blazing time. And I love the way she accelerated from the line. She used all her energy to get up to pace. It's as fast as you can, up over 20 kilometers an hour, to power her way around the track. And Hagström looked so focused, so determined today. Maybe, just maybe, she could continue that decent form. She's obviously in good form to take another World Cup victory.
Yeah, indeed. Well, here we go. The top 30 have hung around. Everyone else going out and doing a good warm down or a bit of extra training, but these top 30 now get to choose their heats for tomorrow. It starts with bib number 11 and then works down to bib number 1 and then back up to Iduka, who's in 12th place, will get 12th choice. Interesting way of doing it.
It is. I wonder where Jessie Diggins, well, you don't often need to wonder. She so often goes for heat 5, but I'm wondering today if she'll go for one of the earlier heats, which does allow more recovery time in between.
Yeah, I'm with you. And I think Jess Diggins, the sort of person who doesn't mind just mixing it up a little bit. She will have an opportunity to see where Mervold, Skistad, Fandrich go, because they will have chosen their groups first.
Yes, I do wonder, will that influence her decision? She seems to enjoy her Heat 5, and I suppose the thinking is often that you're not going to get the fastest athletes in Heat 5.
Well, Fandrich goes in Heat 2, and as it stands, we don't have anyone in Heat 1. Arbrecht and Lundgren in Heat 3.
I think Heat 1 we'll see confidently. She normally does. Skistad, yes, she has.
There you go. It's so obvious in the men's field, isn't it? With Klæbo and probably who else will choose Heat 1 for the men?
Probably Pellegrino.
Pellegrino,
yeah. Yeah, and he likes this venue. He's had a couple of podiums in the sprints. Jesse Diggins.
Diggins is thinking about it. 4, so not quite 5.
Okay, a little more recovery possibilities.
Yeonsu decides to go with she started Group 1. Now, what will Ridzek do? I wouldn't be surprised if she goes 1. No, 2.
Oh, play safe.
Yeah, she's with Fandrich. Hagstrom buys herself an easier, in theory at least, qualification and less time. Aduka goes middle of the road. Sophie Krell next for Germany.
It's not often, Ian, that we see the fastest in the qualifying going for Heat 5. Hagstrom, clearly, that's been a discussion with her coach, and she's comfortably in Heat 5. Will it be a comfortable journey? With Myhrvold there, not that easy, but at least it's the top 2 that qualified through.
Cassor's getting a bit of advice from the wise old owl. And goes Heat 4 with Diggins. Julia Kern next. Who will she go with?
Possibly 2 or 3.
Yeah, looking for a fast qualifying time. Well, she goes with teammate Jess Diggins. That's interesting.
I'm amazed. I'm a little surprised at that. I thought they would spread their flag, the American flag, not entirely in the same heat.
Oh, Ela. Heat 3's getting packed.
And Ela, I think she'll be happy with that. Not a renowned sprinter, but certainly much improved this season in distance terms.
So Dahlqvist definitely now considering who she doesn't want to face off with in the quarterfinals. Oh, wow, look at that. So Heat 4's popular. I think everyone knows Diggins will push the pace, so fastest qualifying... lucky loser slots, what do you think?
Yes, it could be well on spot on there, given that, yes, the 2 lucky losers can go through.
But Dahlqvist, I mean, she was likely to win last year if she hadn't broken a stick, so she can perform.
Well, Pia Fink didn't need any thinking time there, straight to Heat 5.
Yeah. Gans goes Heat 5 with her. Weber next joins them. Interesting.
Have a look at Heat 1. Only Joensuu, Skistad, but they're rapid. Well, Monsorno's had to go there.
Yeah. I mean, Joensuu can do both, can't she? She can go flat out and she can hang back and put a good kick in at the end, but... Monsuna and Gall hoping that now will be a fairly quick quarter-final. Maribum goes into Heat 2, so we have Slind next. She's a smart lady. What will she do? She goes to... Right, only Norwegian in Heat 2.
It's going to be fast Heat 2 with Ridzek, with Fandrich, but then the rest, so an opportunity for Slind to get dragged through, potentially to do some damage on the way to the line with their super double polling power.
And that is it. So, heat selections decided, and we have 5 or 10 minutes to go before the men get their chance to qualify. Well, there we go, Mike. Quite impressed to see Yeonsu and Skistad. I think Yeonsu will be absolutely thrilled with that Heat 1. Not only does she get the longest break after the quarterfinals, but she also knows that to some degree, I think, she can control the race, because she doesn't want to be out of control, but she will often allow people to go ahead, won't she?
Absolutely, and the pace in that heat one will be interesting. Who wants to lead? Some of the lower ranked athletes may want to get out there, try and dictate things. And it's always a tight mention on this track. You have to get your placement, your positions just right, or you'll very quickly be left behind. So you really need to be in second, third position, in my opinion, in each of the heats to have a safer and a slightly easier journey.
So remember last year on this course we had Ben Ogden breaking a stick on that first left-hand end and that little climb up the hill. So no reason why he should. Just took the corner too tight and I think clipped his basket on one of those wooden markers. So that cost him an opportunity to continue through the rounds. There he is. So he won't want to do that again next year. But I think my point is that this course, Mike, has so many bits on it where things can go wrong. I think it's got 6 or 7 key points to this course. Unlike some of the sprint courses, Davos, you tend to think of it as having really 2. The first big uphill and then the last sort of tight right-hander into the final. This one has got more danger points on it if it's close quarters.
It really has. I'm trying to think of another track like it where historically Jules Chapard, this will suit him today, powerful, compact. But yes, I think this has more hazard on this 1.4 kilometre track in terms of it's quite a tight track going over the building, going over the clubhouse effectively. It's tight there, so we have seen many tangles happen and breakages over that section.
So when you were a boy, did you have a Scalextric, Mike?
I wanted one.
Me too, yeah. But this course right here, it reminds me of a little Scalextric track, especially when you see the athletes skiing round. I mean, warming up, when everyone is out warming up. It's got these 2 tight little climbs and a few tight corners. And actually, I think one of the things that makes this course quite tough is that start. You come out of the start and you're working double poling. It's sort of on the limit of double poles sort of stress, really, that start. So it's a tough course.
It is, and it'll be interesting to see how the Grand Master, of course, Clavo, how he deals with it. But I think he'll be going for the bonus seconds to set the fastest time. That will be his aim today.
Run through the starting order, 15-second intervals between all of these athletes. Okay, men's qualification coming up in just a few moments. We have, Mike, 122 starters, definitely. There are people on the latter end of this start list who are, well, they're doing the Tour de Ski because they want to do some of the distance races later on this week to prove their quality going into the Olympics, which of course are coming up very, very soon now. Running out of time to qualify. They have to do well enough in the sprint races to get through to the distance races in the next few days. But some of these athletes definitely not regarded as sprinters.
No, it's going to be interesting. It is quite a spread field, and it's actually a huge field. I cannot think in the 20 years of Tour de Ski as such a huge start number on day one. But as you alluded, it is for the Olympics to get the qualification.
Gus Schumacher of the USA, I think still to show his form this year. It's always interesting to try and work out what are these teams doing, particularly the individual medal potential athletes. How big is the load up to this point? How much training are they doing and trying to build up towards their perfect, in their minds at least, taper period before the games?
It's tough, and the camera focusing on some of the Americans. We saw Schumacher there. I think what Jack Young did in Davos, that showed that his form from the heavy training load leading into the season, his form in Davos was fabulous to finish 4th.
Yeah, signs from Jack Young, similar to what we saw of Ben Ogden maybe 2-3 years ago, where you know, some real brilliance early on, and then just running out of steam towards the end of the day in the sprints. And Ben's become more resilient over the years, and maybe Jack Young will too. There's Clunet of Great Britain, one of 5 British competitors in the men's field today. 7 Brits racing today, including Tabby and Anna, who we've already seen. Neither of them qualified for the quarterfinals, but nevertheless a really good sign, indication of the strength and depth of the emerging cross-country British team.
And it is great to see, Ian. We've often seen Andrew Musgrave, Andrew Young, of course, in the Tour de Ski, but to have 7 British athletes, yeah, brilliant, and quite an entry to at the opening ceremony last night. They made a spectacular entry. One of them, I couldn't make out who it was, on the shoulders of 4 of the others.
I hope it wasn't Andy Young. He's
was
about 150 kilos. Well, first to go will be Michael Novak of Czechia. Now this guy, Michael Novak is an interesting athlete, I feel, because, you know, he doesn't shine often, but occasionally Novak pulls out a blinder and has some brilliant results, and actually has performed well in distance and sprinting over the years, just not consistent.
I would love to see him back at the top again. Yes, 4th he's had as a personal best in sprint racing, isn't it? And yeah, on the podium in distance, 20 kilometers freestyle.
Wow, the skis hardly had any time to touch the ground there as he left the starting gate. Here's Chapaz, always an entertainer, and if he's on the kind of form, or if he's improved, to be fair, on the kind of form he had pre-Christmas, we should be seeing him. Look at that, that's good.
Oh.
Power.
And I have to say, Jules Chapaz, his interviews are always, they're like Pellegrino, they're from the heart, they're exciting, you hear everything, and yeah, so much emotion when he won 3rd place at the World Championship sprinting.
David Graz gets away, had a fall in Davos, so that ruined his day. Yannick Riebli of Switzerland, while he was 4th quickest qualifier in Davos, ended up in 9th place. And Riebli and Valero Grand, the 2 big stars from Switzerland. Good to see that Valerio is, I think, racing today. I think I saw him on the list.
Benjamin Moser, just, I think it was 0.14 of a second in Davos, where he finished 31st. He'll try and put that right today, I think, to secure his top 30.
7th last year, you can see on the screen in this race last year. 2nd in Davos last week. That was a brilliant second place for him. Klæbo not making it through, and for a change, it was a case of Klæbo not winning, not because he wasn't there, but because he failed to perform, sadly. Pellegrino, 4th overall last year in the Tour de Ski. Certainly one to watch today.
I would love for him again, Ian, to take a victory here. In fact, it's what, 2016 the last time he won a sprint race here. But he likes this track. He places himself in the right place at the right time when it comes to the final. And so I'd love to see him be in that final and challenge.
So this is an area where you get a little bit of rest. And it was interesting, I was watching some replays of Klæbo racing on this course. And Klæbo has... he's very efficient at resting on this course here in Toblach. So he'll work and then definitely rest, and then work and definitely rest. No stress when he's relaxing. They go past the finish straight and up over the clubhouse. The conditions looking really good. They should stay quick all day. The sun is out, but it's nice and cold. Great to see so many youngsters out on the top of the clubhouse here.
Oh, that was some attack up there. You need to keep the momentum up there. Then you carry the second rest phase. And the thing, Ian, about these rest phases, they're not long at all. And Pellegrino generally is still working his legs rather than getting that raw recovery that your body so needs.
This is a masterclass in how to ski this technically. Pellegrino, I love his tempo. He's like a rally car, isn't he? Very fast revving engine, super tempo. and doesn't give up, and he always seems to have something left, no matter what he's done in the race, for the home straight.
And again, his rest, that's clever to tuck into the fresh legs of Bibi Levin, who's just gone in. Baudin ahead of him. He'll try and stay with him before he turns left into the finish 100 metres. He can't stay with him.
Yeah, that was a smart move. So he'll swing left now and into the home straight. The sun on this section is possibly one of the slowest sections of the course. But he's going to come across the line. Actually, Ribe's going to hold on to that first place. Pellegrino just a second and a half outside of that time.
I think Pellegrino will actually be disappointed and he'll realise that with Chanavin, with Clabo to come up later, he'll realise that time isn't brilliant. But it should be safe for a top 30.
Yeah, it should be safe, but as you say, it's not brilliant. He's ahead of Chapaz, which is a little bit surprised. Is this Amundsen? It is. This is good. Look at that. Amundsen showing his, it's his endurance, Amundsen's. He's such a brilliant pacing athlete, isn't he?
And you know, yes, he has won the overall Tour de Ski. You need to be a good sprinter. You need to be great at distance. He's got everything, and he's improved, in my opinion, from when he won the Tour de Ski.
Reasonably good time from Puello, who was spitting bullets out in Davos when he was taken out by one of the Americans, I think. Chanavin, yeah, whoa. There we go, quickest time so far. So it's a Frenchman in that green slot, and teammate Remy Baudin coming in. He won't better Chanavar's time. Chanavar, winner, of course, in Davos. Next will be Edvin Anger of Sweden, 9th in the Tour de Ski overall last year. This is not bad. Goes ahead of Pellegrino.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I like his mindset, Ian. He's the complete athlete physically, but he's got a very strong mindset, Anger, and we could see great things when it comes to the head-to-head later.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like him. He impresses me, Edvin Anger, not least because he has so much body to cart around with him that he does so well in the distance races. Alva Milbeck of Sweden. I don't know if this is going to be particularly good.
Little surprised.
Yeah.
And I think you'll be surprised and disappointed.
Helvega of Italy comes through, sort of matches Pellegrino's time. Next to cross the line will be Lars Heggen of Norway. This is good tempo. Love the way he skis, Heggen. Look at that. Oh, almost.
He just looks so confident, doesn't he, at such a young age, to have a total belief. A little like when Clabo came onto the scene.
Another youngster who he knows well, Heggen. This is Anton Gran of Sweden. They've competed for years at junior elite level. Actually not so good for Anton Gran. Mike Lowry Vernon next. How's he doing at midway? Did you spot him?
I didn't spot him as one of the better times. In fact, no, he's off the pace. I don't think he'll qualify. 3 seconds off the pace at halfway.
Well, he sort of maintained it at least. So now here's Richard Jouve of France. Again, a little down.
You know, that may not last. I was thinking 6:30, 6:85 off the best time, but we'll have to wait and see what the best time is. And probably Clavo, who's on the journey.
Mollinen, 3 seconds. So that may last, assuming that Chanavar's time is top 3. And Stobel of Germany, the first of the Germans to cross the line. 1:59, yep. Pretty respectful.
That's a big improvement. Valnes, so much power these last few meters. He'll be safely through.
Valnes, I always feel like he's under such pressure. You know, it's the bridesmaid job that he gets so often in the sprinting world, particularly with team sprints at the Olympics. Can he hang on to that partner job with Clavo?
Here is Clavo.
Here he comes. Look at this.
He's back.
Power. Easily does it. Wow, 2 seconds up.
That's not bad. He was 1.2 seconds up on Grand at half distance. Grand's still out there, so we'll have to wait and see. I think that's a good outing from Klæbo, Ian. Clinical, precise, and you know, he won't want a repetition of Davos, so he's taking command early on in this race.
Ben Ogden, Mike, this is going well in third at the halfway point. Lost a little, but yeah, solid from Ben Ogden. Now here's Valerio Grant of Switzerland. This is looking good. I was hoping he would be back on form.
Oh, it's good. Comfortable in third place.
Ansgar Evensen of Norway, another excellent time from him. We've got to remember that there's a 2-second gap. So all of these times that now say 3.7, you need to add 2 seconds to that, or detract 2 seconds to accommodate Klæbo's stunning round. Now Oscar Vick, little stumble from him as he came around the corner, but this will also be very good.
It's great.
Second.
He had a very powerful second lap. Vick, well, he was fourth at half distance, moving up into second. Oh, the margins, Ian, so tight today. This is a very compact top three.
Tell you what, Schumacher paced that really well. Was down in 6th at the halfway point. Comes through in second. Zach Ketterson, the Americans going well.
They're going really well, consistently, no poor performances at all. Although seem to fade towards the end, Ketterson. Is that going to last? I'm not sure it will, to make the top 30.
Yeah, maybe not.
And only 5 seconds, Ian, between the top 21 athletes, so really tight. And that's with Klæbo at 176 ahead of second place.
So down in 30th place is Mulbeck of Sweden, Remy Bourdon and Zach Ketterson in 29 and 28. Mulbeck has gone, Anton Gran has gone, Bourdon now hoping to stay in the competition, but he is not going to. Carollo, I think. Actually, I spoke too soon, did I?
Well, I thought he was going to make it. You've really got to be so sharp off that bottom corner.
Yeah, another Swiss athlete coming in next, Noah Naff. The younger brother of Isai Naff. And I think he's just finished yet. Where is he? 3:51, that's not bad actually. Number 36 in 12th place. So Noah Naff goes through.
Just noticed another Swiss athlete, Roman Alder, not an overly familiar name, in 4th place at half distance.
Oof, that is flying, yeah. On a par with Ben Ogden at that point. Gabrielli sneaks in there into the early 20s. Hakala next to Finland.
I think the Italians in the men's field can be happy. The Helveger's still there, Pellegrino's still in, David Grazza's best in 9th position.
Hakala doesn't get through, but Alder of Switzerland, here he comes. This is looking pretty good. Will he get through? Yep, into 20th place. So lost a little bit of that pace, but nevertheless flew round. Actually, this is Alder, isn't it? Yeah.
It's still good, though.
Yeah.
Faded a little on the second lap of 700.
Now we're waiting for James Clooney, who I can see was in 16th place at the halfway point. Has he managed to hang on to some of that power? Might just sneak in. He does. 21st. So 9 athletes ahead of him to be disappointed before he faced with being disappointed. Kevin Bolger, Mike, another one of the Americans, gets through cleanly.
Looking strong, very strong throughout, and I think they'll be very hopeful for what comes later, all the way up into the final if possible.
Wow, so where are we? 30th place is 5:36 down on Klæbo's time. That's so tight.
It's so tough and tight, isn't it? There are no margins for error. You have to keep so sharp throughout this whole 1,400 metres. Barb will definitely be disappointed. This is at home, and he wanted better. He wanted a top 30.
So looking down the list at big names, well, Stenshagen of Norway is in 52, so he won't be long, but can he sprint? Probably not well enough to get within 5 seconds of Klæbo. What do you think?
Not renowned or as renowned as those ahead of him in the Norwegian team as a sprinter, but you never know.
Mike, we're not even halfway through the field yet, and it's already just 5.5 seconds. Pueo desperately trying to hang on now, and Chapaz in 29th, Mike. That's a shock.
It is. That is a huge shock. Juve outside. I think Stenshagen 29th in Ruka he was, but that was classic sprinting. Trondheim 39th, not renowned. Should be in soon.
Isainaf of Switzerland doesn't join his younger brother in the quarterfinals. Karotstelev now, or the independent athlete, once again will be frustrated. I am sure he's had a tough couple of weeks since Davos, training, getting ready for today. Yet to work out whether he considers himself a sprinter or a distance athlete, but he's had some good races at sprinting as a junior. Stenshagen 9:09.
Well, he impressed me on the second lap, Ian, because he was 6 seconds off the pace at half distance, so a very powerful second lap, which is against the trend.
Yeah.
So close.
53 to finish, and we have, 122 athletes in total.
It's a cruel selection to make it to the top 30, given that it's 5:36 from first place to 30th place, but Klæbo has got that nearly 2 second cushion at the front, so many athletes in 3 seconds gap behind him.
So just a reminder, though, that many of these athletes racing today in order to race tomorrow and need to do well enough to be within 20% of Klæbo's time, as he's the quickest, in order to justify continuing on through each of the days.
This looks another good German time. Is it going to be good enough?
So tight. Everything is so tight. Between sort of 24 and 38 is just like quarter of a second. It's really tough.
I'm just looking back to half distance. I'm not seeing many names that are getting into the top 45 at half distance from the later starters.
Keep a lookout for any surprises now. Himmer. No, I mean, the time looks small as they come halfway through that home straight, but then falls away, ends up in 42nd place. Mike, a lot of people know you as Mr. Biathlon, but I think it's easy to forget, actually, you competed cross-country in the Olympics. It's going back a while now, but nevertheless.
It certainly is.
I say that with fondness. But, boy, how things have changed over the years in cross-country skiing, not least the... well, there's freestyle and classic. You and I doing biathlon in our junior days, classic skiing, which I think was a good thing, actually. I think it helped us. And then freestyle emerging over the years. Skating known to most people, but you could classic round here if you want, aka freestyle, take your pick. No one would. But as well as the techniques changing, just the inclusion of these sprints have made a really, really big impact on how attractive the sport is, particularly to youngsters, I think, and has created a whole new breed of athlete, I think. The best sprinters in the world, with the exception perhaps of Klæbo, tend not to be the best distance racers.
Yes, and I think Shanava is the main example there. He's an out-and-out sprinter, built so powerful and strong, and that's what you need as a sprinter. We know that in track and field. But yes, all these changes, the Tour de Ski 20 years ago coming in, it's added more spice, and I think the sprinting has allowed small nations to become good and put themselves on the map in terms of their sprint athletes. If you can take the pain for 3 minutes, and you can build that more easily, can't you, than the massive amount of endurance you need to develop young athletes.
Yeah, and of course, you know, we see it in track and field or track athletics, the sprinters or the sort of middle distance, the 800-meter runners, the 1500-meter runners, then progressing on to 5,000 and 10,000 later on, and even going on to marathons, some of them being very successful at those sort of distances. And I guess that's Andy Young's strategy this year. It would appear that he's trying to push, still wants to do well in the sprint races, of course, but has switched a little more to the distance races and looking a little further ahead a month from now and racing at the Olympics, possibly as a distance racer, or at the very least being one of those athletes that the selectors could pick for either, which is a real quality to have.
Yes, and also for the relay, you need distance to take part in the relay at the Olympics. It's still at the 10 kilometres, unlike the World Cups at 7.5. And yes, Andrew Young, 1:12. This, of course, is where he reached his first ever podium, and the first podium for Britain in cross-country skiing, way back, 2016. So good memories for Andrew Young, and I really hope he can find the magic soon. He'll be starting very soon.
Oh, De Fabiani is looking pretty tired. That's been a painful 3 minutes for him. Now then, here is Ekberg. I saw Kruger's name there for a second, and I saw a timing countdown that puzzled me a little, but Kruger is racing today. Where is he? He's a little later on, 83, so about 5 minutes before we see him again. Someone who is going to be more interested in the distance races during the Tour de Ski than the sprints.
And Ian, another big name, of course, Emil Iversen, from his fewer races, taking part, bit starts bib 1:05, so he'll be desperately trying to make it into those precious, what are we at now, 5 seconds, 5.79 seconds, to make the 5:36 now.
Oof,
to make the top 30.
Paroma of Sweden.
I think he's going to do well in the Tour, Ian. Not an out-and-out sprinter, never has been, but his endurance, he's kept himself not hidden away, but quietly training, and I really hope that he can provide at the Olympics as well.
So he's someone who's starting today and hopes to be here at the end of the week, skiing up the mountain in Val di Fiemme. But the likes of Skistad and maybe even Shanava, who you mentioned, possibly not intending to burn all their matches this week. Skistad certainly won't continue through the week, will she? Another one of the breed of athletes that she has, in a sense, been bred just for pure sprinting.
Yes, I mean, she didn't like the competition. Well, it didn't work for her trying to do the endurance as well as the sprinting. So yeah, 3-4 years ago, out and out training for sprint. I do wonder, I think Skistad may well try and survive through till next Saturday for the second of the sprint competitions in Val di Fiemme. But it will be really survival.
Yeah, that's really tough, isn't it? That's really tough.
But, you know, looking ahead for the overall sprint Crystal Globe at the end of the season, I would imagine that will be her strategy looking forward.
Here's La Palou of France. Hasn't been great so far this season for him. Third overall in the Tour de Ski last year. And the climbing bib there in purple, but not good enough. Not good enough to qualify and continue racing today. Next is Kruger. How's he looking? No, it's not going to happen today.
No, out-and-out distance athlete. The fast twitch fibers just simply aren't there.
Funny, isn't it? We think of these guys as absolute legends on skis, and yet, you know, they're just not going to qualify. It just shows you how supreme the best sprinters really are. Now then, Bria of Poland, that wasn't bad, and if he got an earlier start number, we'd have been surprised to see him qualifying, but well, with that time, you know, 10-15 minutes ago, 5:93, we were thinking, well, good on you, but it's no good.
It's cruel, isn't it? Less than half a second off the pace on your way down, late 30s on the finish sheet.
Like Formula One qualifying, isn't it? The times are just stunningly tight.
Andrew Musgrave as well. He should be getting close to the start line. Bib number 96.
So we've got Andrew in 96, Gabe Gledhill is in 90, Andrew Young 112, and then Joe Davis, second last to start today in 121. So far, I think James Clooney is looking reasonably safe as it stands. Where is he?
He's Gledhill.
Gabe Gledhill didn't get a time.
Just trying to find him. He's down in 86, 15.70 behind.
James Clooney. James is still sitting in 20 seconds, so he's looking pretty good. A lot of athletes to finish still, but they tend to not shine at this end of the field.
Andrew Musgrave, just see his time at half distance. He's 7.5 behind at half distance, so it would be a miracle to qualify.
So 2 seconds at that distance. He's got to imagine that he's got to pass, catch and overtake someone who's about 20 meters ahead of him.
Not good enough for Drahon from Ukraine. This looks like Andrew Musgrave.
Yeah. Good effort. Tough effort, so but yeah, 10 seconds down on Clavo.
So interesting, he took it within himself the first lap, obviously at 7.5 seconds behind Andrew in the first lap, but that's a good second lap time. He's got the power, he's got the pace, but not an out-and-out sprinter anymore.
Friedrich Moch, 6th overall last year, but won't go any further today. 6th overall in the Tour de Ski, I should say.
Holman, one of the few to go wide, thinking that that right-hand lane as he was looking down towards the finish line was faster. Powerful final 50 meters from Hirosh, but 16 seconds.
Maloney Westgard should be the next athlete to come in for Ireland, but this is a man who quite enjoys the distance racing, and probably, if anyone does, maybe enjoys skiing up the Alpe Chemise at the end of the week, if he gets that far. Ventura of Italy next. Emil Iversen coming up. We're in bit 105.
Yes, Iversen, it's been a while, hasn't it, since he took part in the Tour de Ski, and he got his first ever victory at Oberstdorf. Can't remember which year, maybe 2017 or 18. His first Tour de Ski stage win then.
Colombia, the finish line with
Here's Moch, Elias Moch, Jakob Elias Moch. He was within 4 seconds of the lead at the halfway point, but faded a little. Now, Everson, yeah.
He's 7 seconds off at half distance, so more powerful second lap, a little like Andrew Musgrave, but not good enough to qualify.
Yeah, almost exactly the same time.
I think he'll be, yeah, he wouldn't have expected to make the top 30, not with a 5 points, 3.9 second separation from first to 30th. But I think Everson, highly motivated to make the Olympics, highly motivated for the remainder of the Tour de Ski. Pepin, Romanian, 24.04 behind. Yep, that hurt.
Certainly did.
Esteban Altamira is not the sprinter, but very good distance racer now, so better days to come.
108.5 finished. Baba of Japan coming in now. Andrew Young went through halfway point, 6.7 off the pace in 68th position. So again, that's a big gap to make up.
It is. I'm wondering if the conditions have become less favourable later, probably broken up a little more on the steep climb over the clubhouse and on the track, but I don't think there'll be much change in the conditions.
Yeah, it's not vast, is it? But I'm sure you're right. It's the home straight here is direct in the sunshine and it's flat. It doesn't look particularly quick. Andrew Young coming across, lost another further 3 seconds.
But yes, Andrew Young focusing, as you mentioned, more on the endurance, and yeah, I just keep the memory of his third place here way back in 2016 in the World Cup in the sprint competition.
Previsto da fine auf der 67 im Ziel.
Ukraine's Romanchenko coming through over 20 seconds outside, and behind him is Victor Levert of France. Yeah, good but not good enough. 11 seconds off the pace. Florian Notz next of Germany. And I think if we were going to see any of these guys qualify now, they would be in the home straight with the person that set off ahead of them. So no real sign of that happening. Ivo Niskanen is in 1:18, so we should see him finish in the next 30 seconds.
I think it's going to be a very painful one, 2 minutes 45 or maybe more for Ivo Niskanen.
Yeah, he's already 8 seconds off the pace at halfway, so yeah, he is not going to qualify today, not even Ivo himself. Joe Davies, 7.4 off the pace again at the halfway point. I think it has slowed down a little bit. We'll see later, won't we? When we look at the fastest quarter-final times, those races that are really pushed hard from the word go, as opposed to tactical, whether the times are considerably different to these now.
Ivarinen, not a renowned sprinter. Where's Niskanen? This looks like Joe Davies. 12 seconds.
12 outside of Clabo. Clabo's time, 2:27.15. I think that's quicker than the quickest time last year. I'll just check that, but I think it is a little quicker.
Und ja, Puyo hat es geschafft, als 30.
122 have started. Puyo of Spain has crossed his fingers, thumbs and eyes, I think, for the last 15 minutes, hoping he would hang on to a 30th slot, and he has indeed. So, Clabo, quickest of the day. Schumacher with he's done it once or twice before and been up there. Ben Ogden in 11th, so we'll get first choice of heat. I wonder if he'll go Group 1. That'll be interesting.
I feel he might do. He's certainly fearless, and he'll certainly be really pushing what he wants to do. He does what he wants to do. Sometimes that means he'll try and break away, which in a sprint race is very, very difficult.
Yeah, I agree. On this course, it is going to be really quite tough. This is Oscar Vick, once again, increasing the attention around that name in Norway. Goes into third place in qualifying. Gus Schumacher of the USA paced it brilliantly. Set off 15 seconds behind Oscar Vick and crossed the line, well, about a 1/10 of a second quicker. The only person to get, well, two people got within 2 seconds of this man. Only just, though. Johannes Hosford Clabo, 1.76 seconds quicker than anyone else. So goes into the finals later on knowing that he's got the endurance speed if he needs it. And we already know he's got the nous, the technical, tactical ability to cope with pretty much anything that is thrown at him once we get into the quarters, semis, and then the final later on today.
Ian, the facial expressions there on Clabo, you know, that's a man who's hungry. He didn't like what happened in Switzerland and Davos before Christmas, and that looks like a man who is not going to be beaten today, and that's probably going to be the outcome. But so many, and especially you mentioned Oscar Vick, you know, I think Clabo must be realising there are some big young names coming up through the Norwegian system that may well be pushing off the podium.
Yep, some big teams from Norway and Switzerland. These Swiss guys doing well earlier on today.
It'll be interesting, Ian. Will Clabo swagger up with the confidence, or the facial expressions in his outing there is 2 minutes and 27-second outing. So determined, I think he'll just saunter up and tap Heat 1 when he gets the call up to do so.
Yeah, indeed. Mike, one Swede in the final, in the quarterfinals. That's amazing. It's just Edvin Anger. I mean, it's not. Of course, we were talking about the women. It would be extraordinary, but it is quite striking, don't you think, that the women are absolutely the best in the world, and yet the Swedish men can only put one today into the top 30 in the world. In fact, you have to go all the way down to 46th to find the next Swede, and that's Alva Milback.
And, you know, I think Milback, from what we saw earlier in the season, I did think he'd make the top 30 today. I am really surprised there's only one Swede, the great nation of Sweden, in cross-country skiing historically. And you do feel that they're missing something by having not developed like their neighbour, like Norway, the top-class sprinters from a very young age in Sweden.
Yeah, they're just not being attracted into it the way the women are. That's, I mean, you've got some amazing female athletes sitting outside the top 6 in Sweden who are brilliant, and yet those top slots hogged by the best in the world. Well, we're underway with the heat selection. Amundsen and Ben Ogden have gone for 3, so I wonder why Amundsen decided to join Ben there.
Interesting. He might reckon that Ben, with the bib number or 11th fastest time, will be the man to chase, and he'll probably feel comfortable with that.
Yeah, get someone to pace it for him. Evanson goes in 2. Yannick Riebli, one of the several Swiss athletes, goes in Group 2. I thought he was hitting Group 1 there, but yeah, Group 2. Lars Heggen of Norway will be next. What's he going to do? 4.
Or spreading that Norwegian flag. Yeah, don't want to overpack Norwegian flags in any one group, but they're going to have to later.
Valerio Grand, another Swiss athlete, goes next. Surely won't go 1. Chanevar and clearly Klæbo will go 1. He joins Amundsen and Ben Ogden. Chanevar 1 as anticipated. Now then, Vic 2. What do you reckon?
Yeah, possibly 2. Well, will he be brave and go 1?
That would have been fun. But,
that is 2 Norwegian flags in Heat 4.
Schumacher is on form and knows he can have a good lucky losers if the tactics don't play out. Puts himself as the best, quickest athlete in Heat 5, unless there's any real surprises. As well just add Klæbo's name to Heat number 1 by default. Noah Nath joins Schumacher.
Well, those 2 names in Heat 1 will frighten everybody. Keep away from that Heat 1 with Klæbo and Chanevar.
Yeah, and what makes it increasingly unattractive is that they can both afford for it to be pedestrian for 2/3 of the race.
I think you're right, yes, and then pump it up as economical as they can to cross the line in the top 2. But you have to play safe on this track as well. You can't allow yourself to be losing your focus, losing your determined line.
You can't get caught out either, which is exactly what happened to Chanevar about 12 months ago in Engadine when Klæbo wasn't there and Edvin Anger was in the same final with Chanevar, and Anger just took off. And Chanevar was caught napping and never got back in the race. And it was, I think, a very, very sharp lesson for Chanevar that day. Anger got the win, and Chanevar didn't feature on the podium, I don't think, having been absolutely the favourite going into it. Now then, Pellegrino, will he join Heat 1? No, goes in 2. It's probably a smart move.
Pellegrino, I think we'll see better from him. I think at 19th fastest, probably disappointed. He didn't look totally relaxed or enjoying it out there, but I think he'll relax when it comes into these heat racing. Well, Hailweger's maybe looking for a lucky loser time.
Yeah.
If that Heat 1 goes all out.
Good, well done. Now, James Clunet can choose any group, which is good. Any group he wants. What's he going to go for? 5. Okay, so joins Schumacher.
Let's see the choice of the Slovenian.
Stern goes in 3.
Cherny goes to number 4.
Cherny 4, another tall athlete like Edvin Anger from Sweden.
Vediamo la sua scelta.
I'm a little surprised James Clunet went for Heat 4, although of course there's only Schumacher there as bib number 2, but it is a competitive Heat 5.
Yeah. I mean, in some ways you get a longer rest now as opposed to a longer rest later. That may mean something. That's how your body works, I guess. What would you have liked, Mike, if you were racing? Would you like a longer race before the quarterfinals, a longer rest, I should say, or more rest between the quarterfinals, assuming I guess it depends, not you particularly, but these athletes thinking, will I get through the quarterfinals? For some of them, the quarterfinals is the final, and so the longer rest they get now, the more likely they're going to be in good form to just make it through the quarters.
And then you're buying yourself comfort, Ian. I think you're right in terms of bonus seconds leading into day 2, and yes, more recovery.
Well, good to see Chapaz there going in heat number 1, and Pueo will get the last available slot in heat number 2. So that's our top 30 divided neatly into 5 heats coming up later on. Well, that's it in qualifying, and a little bit of time to gather their thoughts now and prepare for the finals coming up later on this afternoon. Well, thanks, Mike. It's going to be a brilliant final to look forward to.
It certainly is, Ian. The athletes have a little time, buy themselves some relaxation time prior to the battles, which will certainly commence very soon.
Okay, well, join us later. We'll see you then.